Greetings, this is Sherry at Avinus Web Services, and this is our tutorial series about using WordPress to edit the content on your website. This is part 2, where we'll talk about editing posts and pages within the WordPress dashboard. Now, assuming that you have logged in, here is the dashboard that comes with WordPress, and on the left we have our options here. Posts and pages are the two main ways that you'll edit content on the website. Posts are generally associated with a news page or an articles page, or suppose your website is mainly a blog, then the posts represent the continuous new articles or publications that you make under that category. On our Arrow Post Holes website, the blog posts are actually under a news page, which we'll see here. There is only one post under the news, and if there was more than one, we would have multiple entries here on this page. So since we clicked on posts, we see that this one article is under the news section on the website here. New website, new website. That's the one. So on the side, you have multiple options. You can add a new post. You can edit your categories. You can see here in this column on this table here that we have the category of news, which is what that page on the website is pulling content from. You can edit your tags as well. You can tag your posts in order to enable people to find related content a little bit easier. So if you have tutorials on your article section or your blog section, if you have tutorials, you might tag them as tutorials. You might tag them with the topic or the hashtag that you are associating with that article. So that's tags. To edit a news article, you simply click on the name of it, and it brings it up in the WordPress Editor. There have been some changes to the WordPress Editor recently, which makes it kind of tricky for new users to use. They now use a block editor, so every bit of content on the website is associated with a block. So here on the side, on the right side, we have the settings menu, and you can toggle that with this little gear icon, whether you want to see it or not. The document section gives us information about this entire blog post. Things like whether it's been published, is it publicly viewable, the date it was published on. The URL slug is the part of the website where you can view the article. So if I click on new website, you see that we have our main domain name, and then we have new-website, which is the slug for the article. So new-website. And in this way, you can customize the URL of your blog posts. And then here we have our categories. You can see this is under news, and we have tags, and we can simply type comma separated some additional tags to tag those articles. You can also attach an image to your article, and that will show up nice and big at the top of your article. And there's other associated settings here. The sidebar layout setting is not something that I recommend playing with, because the design and layout of your website has been carefully set up by Avinus, and if you play around with the layout too much, it might make certain things disappear or make things not work properly. So I recommend leaving the sidebar layout as it is. The block section on the settings gives you the settings associated with the block that you're currently typing on. If I click on the title block, you'll see that I can edit this. This is the slug, and I can actually type in here to add some more content. If I want to type the next line, you can see I can click in here, and in some cases, the block settings section brings up more information like font size and color and things like that. Now, if I get to the end of a paragraph and I'm typing something and I want to add a new paragraph, I simply hit enter, and WordPress creates a new block for me. This is a new block. You can see it's a little bit slow because I'm recording a video. My computer doesn't quite know what to do with all this typing and recording. So normally it's a little bit faster than this. But anyway, so I type new blocks and I click enter. At the top here, I can change the style of the block. I can use block quotes in order to indent and add some quoted text. I can make bulleted lists, headings, and things like that. I can also change the text alignment, bold, italic. I can insert links as well. If I want the word block to link to something, I simply click here and I add the URL that I want the link to go to. Turn on this little switch here to make it open in a new tab. And when I'm done, I hit enter in order to create a link. And then there's additional options here. I can make strike through text and other formatting options. Here we can have additional settings that deal with this block in particular. I can duplicate a block. I can insert a block before this if I forgot to insert some text, insert a new block after, and things like that. I can remove the block of content altogether. Now, supposing that you want to add an image onto your blog post, you simply select image from the block types, and it will let you upload an image from your computer into your blog here. And once you've uploaded a new image, it goes here into the media library that is collected in your WordPress software. So everything you've uploaded and used on the website will be found under the media option, and we'll look at that in a later video. If you click on media library, you can simply select an image that already exists in your WordPress media collection. Insert from URL lets you take a link to an image on another website and insert it into your website. I don't recommend doing that because it's not really considered good manners to link other people's images into your website. Usually you'll want to download an image that is not copyright protected and upload it to your website so you have your own copy of the website and you're not using some other website's bandwidth in order to load your images. So once you're done editing, let's close this. We changed our mind about adding an image. Now, once we're done editing and making changes and drafting new paragraphs, then I can keep hitting enter and adding more paragraphs of text if I have more to say. And when I'm done, I simply hit the update button. Keep in mind that you can preview what it's going to look like on the website before you save it. If you click the switch to draft button, it will unpublish this article and set it as a draft status, which means that the public cannot see it yet because you're still working on it. But since this is an already published article, I would hit update, which would save my changes and make them visible on the public website. Since I don't want to save the work that I did, I'm not going to do that. And instead, I'm just going to switch back to my post list, and it warns me that the changes I've made will not be saved. Now, similar to editing, if you want to create a new post to show up on your website, then you simply click the Add New button, and it will give you the same editor page, but this time it will be blank. And you can type a title, you can type your content, and this time when you're ready, you'll hit the Publish button, which will make it publicly visible. If you would like to get rid of a blog post, you can simply come in here, and if you mouse over the blog post in question, you can hit the trash button to get rid of the blog post off the website. Now, when you publish new blog posts or articles, keep in mind that they will appear on your website with the most recent one at the top. So they will be sorted by publication date. You can also quick edit, which just brings up a little box here in case you want to just tweak the title or the date or things like that. You don't want to get deep into editing. You just want to quickly edit something about it. You can use the quick edit button. So that's posts. Now, the good news is that pages is very similar, and almost everything I mentioned about posts can be applied to pages. Pages are just what you would think of on the website, normal pages that you visit on your menu. Your website might have multiple menus. This website has a main menu at the top and a secondary menu on the bottom. And a page is something that can contain content, it can contain pictures, and it basically fleshes out what's on your website. So here we have the About page for Aeropostals. We have images and content and things like that added onto this static page. Now, how did we create this nice page with these pictures and bulleted lists and all of this nice stuff? Let's have a look at this one. This is the About page here. You can see if there is a page and then a page below it with a dash in front of it, that represents that the testimonials page is a sub page of the About page. So underneath the About group is a sub menu of testimonials. And we get to that on this page by clicking this Read More Testimonials. That will link to the testimonials page. So if we click Edit on the About page, we'll have a look at what I'm talking about. This is a bit more complicated than the blog post that we looked at previously, and it has more block types, and so you can see some of the power that WordPress gives you to edit content. We have the title block as usual. Let's have a look at what the block settings tells us about these things. Title. Here we have an image, which we had uploaded, and you can see right here it says this is an image type of block. There's some alternative text, which helps for people with screen readers. So you might want to put a description of the image there. You can adjust the size of the image as well. And here you can see we have an alignment option to center, right align, left align, etc. the image. So we added an image block, and this is actually two blocks side by side. This image here is its own block that we had set to right alignment, and that put it beside the other block of text. So right here is the block that's to the left, and this is just a normal text block. So as we had drafted this page originally, we edited the content. We can create bold text by selecting it and choosing bold or italic, etc. We inserted a bulleted list block of information, and then we have a block quote here, which looks like some HTML content, and that's because when we at Avinus built this website, we wanted something a little bit fancier than a regular quote. We wanted it to look a little bit different. We wanted this nice gray background and this nice border on the left and a link to the testimonials. So we did some custom coding to make this block something that looks a little bit nicer than what the default block quote is. We added another image with this time the image has a caption at the bottom and a subtitle and more content, etc. So once you're done drafting a page like this, you can simply hit the publish button. If it's not an already published page, it will appear here. Now, much like posts, you can also add a new page. Now with this, you want to be a little bit more careful, because when we built your website, we built it with a specific number of pages in mind. And the pages are usually added automatically to whatever is configured to be your main menu. Up here, we have the main menu. In some cases, a newly published page will just automatically appear in this menu. You want to be careful about your horizontal space if you have a horizontal menu. If you create a new page and it doesn't automatically appear in one of your menus, that means Avinus created a custom menu for you, and you'll just have to send us a quick email and we can add the new page into your menu ourselves. So adding a new page works just like adding a new post. You'll type your content and hit publish, keeping in mind whether you want it to publish right away You can also schedule a publication so that you can write it in advance and have it appear later on automatically. You can add images and enable or disable comments on your content. So that's Pages, which is very similar to Posts. Now keep in mind that posts are usually the part of your website that people will allow others to comment on. Much like a blog, sometimes you'll see at the bottom of a blog post, you'll see that someone has commented on it. And here we have a count of how many comments we have on the blog posts. Now let's have a look at the news page, which is basically the blog section on this website. This is where we have our posts. If we click on the new website post, you can see that there is no box here in order to comment on this blog article. And that's because Avinus has disabled commenting on these blog posts. If you have a blog section on your website, you can enable comments on your blog posts or your news posts. But in most cases, Avinus recommends that you don't enable comments because they end up being a spam trap and you get a lot of spam and junk comments onto your website with people trying to promote their own links by putting them into their comments. So on this website, you'll see there's no comment box, and that's because we had disabled it site-wide. Now you can enable comments on a per post basis. And if that's the case, you'll have to come into the comment section here and approve any comments that come in. If you get a new comment, the WordPress site will send you an email telling you you need to that you need to authorize the comment, and here's where you'll find those. You'll simply select the comment and hit approve in order to allow that comment to appear on your website. Now, in that case, you want to be quite suspicious. Have a close look at the author name of the comment, the link that they've attached to their comment, and any content. Sometimes if you just see comments that are very generic, like, "This is a great post, I can't wait to read some more," generic comments like that are usually spam, which is why for most websites, you're not going to get a lot of engagement from people who want to comment on your content. So in most cases, we just disable it. And that's the case for this website. In our next video, we will have a look at the media section and editing a photo gallery page on your website.